Breaking news, Casey Neistat quits vlogging, sells his company to CNN, and then starts something on YouTube with them.
Check it.
If you've been living under a rock, you probably don't know that Casey Neistat, one of the biggest vloggers on the planet, quit his vlog a few days ago to do something bigger. He cited that he wasn't feeling creatively challenged enough, that the vlogging had he'd lost the passion for it, and so he wanted to do bigger things. Now, if you haven't seen this, this has gone massive on YouTube, and so many big YouTubers have been commenting, saying, that's really sad, he did some great things. He really took vlogging to another level, and so everybody's kind of sad and kind of, wondering what he's going to do. Well, it got announced this morning that he's teamed up with CNN to do something on YouTube, and this rises my suspicion on what is going on YouTube these days. And I'm not the only one to say this. A lot of big YouTubers have come out and said similar things to what I'm about to tell you. So I'm not, the first guy on the planet to talk about this, but I think it's really interesting what's going on YouTube at the moment. Gary Vee, one of my big influences, he has said multiple times, YouTube is TV. YouTube is TV. YouTube's TV. So taking that in mind, you got to start thinking to yourself, okay, if YouTube is TV, what does that mean for YouTube? Well, this deal with CNN and Casey Neistat shows exactly what that means. It means that big brands, TV brands, networks, are even more so going into YouTube than they have before. They realize that nobody's watching TV anymore, that their target demographics, although in a young age, are coming up, the platform's getting older, and that's where people are. They're on YouTube. YouTube creators' views are down. Guys like H3H3 have come out and made videos and saying like, look, our content, even though that's the content we watch and that's the content we like, isn't getting shown, isn't getting recommended. But Netflix content is getting shown, CNN content is getting shown, NBC content is getting shown, instead of the stuff that you regularly watch and recommend and share and like and comment on.
There's been a lot of talk from other YouTubers lately about there being some kind of glitch that's been channels' views.
H3H3 came out and said, like, what is going on here? What is YouTube's algorithm doing to take us out of those recommendations, take us out of the homepage, and put these other brands in? And I firmly believe it's because YouTube is also realizing that, hey, these big brands, they want to do big stuff on YouTube, and A, they have the cash, cha-ching, and B, they have the content. They have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of content that YouTube can put up and to drive viewers, to drive advertising revenue. So I think that they're messing with their algorithm a little bit to beef up these brands and put down some of the vloggers. And even guys like PewDiePie have noticed, and PewDiePie came out and said, I'm sorry guys, I guess the content that I'm making for you guys isn't good enough and I'm gonna try harder. But the reality is that maybe his views have gone down because YouTube isn't pushing his content up anymore. So I think there's something interesting going on. YouTube over the next couple of years, I think will be much, much more highly produced content from guys like Netflix, NBC, CNN, all of these creators that are not the amateur creators like you and me. And that spells a little bit of problems for guys like you and me. I mean, if you're vlogging, using one of these, the Casey Neistat special, you're probably gonna have a harder time now. And so you have to take notice of this, that if you're making content for YouTube, you are gonna have a tougher time. So what about Beme? So I was dead right. I called it about a month ago. I said, Beme is dead, and it's true. CNN is buying Beme, but it's closing its doors, it's taking the employees and probably going to utilize their brain power and their knowledge to do something else in this space. So CNN is pretty smart to buy that talent, bring in that knowledge, bring in those young minds, those great minds that are doing amazing things in the new media space, in the new app and technology space, and to bring that under their roof and see what they can get out of it. But man, did I call it a month ago? I said Beme is dead. Some people said, no, I think it's this, I think it's that, it's changing, it's still great a community, and I agree, there's some great stuff going on there, but it was definitely on its way down, and we can see that now. So I think it's interesting. I think part of the Beme deal is maybe part of CNN wanting Casey Neistat, so he probably arranged it so that those two came together, Casey and Beme, as part of the CNN deal, so that it can look like a win on both sides. But probably, if you're reading between the lines, it's probably Beme was failing, not doing so great, so CNN buys it, part of the Casey deal, and now we have what we have today. What the hell is CNN doing buying a technology video app? That's interesting in itself. We talk a lot about how Blockbuster should have been the Netflix, Kodak should have built Instagram, or these old school brands that should have evolved with the times. And CNN buying an app like Beme is very interesting. It shows that CNN understands where the marketplace is moving, understanding that they need to be technologically advanced, they need to move with the times. And buying Beme shows some good things about CNN. They're keeping their finger on the pulse. Now, I'm not sure if Beme's the right choice. I think that there's a lot of better apps that they could have built or been involved with, but only time will tell to see what happens there. So I just wanted to give you that quick update on what's going on with Casey Neistat, CNN, and then ultimately what's going on with YouTube. This is a very interesting time in online video. What is that gonna mean for YouTube creators like you and me? It's gonna mean that we have to get smarter, we're gonna have to build our audiences quicker, and we're gonna have to compete with the big dogs now. Now that is kind of scary, but I don't want to discourage you. I think that there's still room for the young players, for us little dogs, to do things better and faster than the big brands. But it's up to us to understand that the change is happening, that bigger brands are coming in, and we have to be able to react and change ourselves in that new environment. I hope those tips help. I hope the update helps on Casey Neistat and what he's doing. And if you can take notice of that, because that's super important, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think is going on with YouTube these days? If you're a creator, have you seen a dip in your viewership? How do you think the big brands are now affecting YouTube? Thank you so much for watching. Adios, amigos.